Hello, Stefan.
Oh, hello. I love the film. I'm going to begin just by asking you quickly about the music because I love the music. I mean, Get Up and Boogie, Fly Robin Fly. You guys had me dancing around my living room like an idiot when I was watching this. So Lisa, because there is a question here, I promise. Do you write to music, or do you know when writing which songs are going to feature? Because they're such a perfect fit, I thought.
Yeah, I always do this in all my movies. And this one is even better because it's also my tribute to disco music, which is my favorite music in the world, and funk, So yeah, but I always write because then it gets in the budget. Otherwise, at the end of the movie, there's no more money and you're like, oh, sorry, we can't buy the music.
Yeah. Because not just the music I love, there are so many factors, but I mean, usually when you see a story, the coming of age story, which I guess in some ways this felt like a sort of coming of age story about someone starting a new life, that you always reserve for younger people. It's always about teenagers finding themselves when they go to college or stuff like that. But it's so refreshing and important, I think, to see people changing their life and looking for something new when they're over 40. So Sophie, as someone who has made films across the whole world, is it usually in French cinema where characters like this and stories like this are more common?
In France, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to question ourselves and to make mise à jour, how you say that?
Update
to who we are. Sometimes we say we are too focused on our not nostrils, but belly button. But yeah, we love philosophy, we love psychology, and we are interested. I mean, it's true that French cinema is focusing on psychological stuff more often. Maybe we're good at that. We have philosophy, it's a whole thing. So I think a French author would naturally go into analyzing people's life and trying to understand what this is all means.
And obviously your character, she sees America on such cinematic terms still, and I think we all do. I think for me, especially when I go to New York or LA, I feel like I've walked onto a movie set. Is that something you still feel now today, despite sure you've been there?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know better, you go to LA more often, but
yes. But basically Paris is more beautiful than LA. I mean, for sure. But when I'm in LA, I feel so much more in a great movie that I feel better. For me, it's beautiful.
Because and in this film, so Lisa is a filmmaker who draws on her own life when she writes. Lisa, is that something you can relate to? Is that a way when you like to write? Do you like to always think about your own past and your present to help craft your stories?
Yeah, I think I'm this kind of directors, maybe like I don't have so much imagination, but I know how to link things from my little own story to the universal story. And I've done a lot of psychological work on myself. I'm a huge fan of retreats and trying to understand what's going on. And I also have 3 kids who are like in their 20s and 30s. So I'm very much in touch with a lot of people, a lot of generations. And I like to make links with what's happening because I have time for that. This is my job. And I feel like I have to do it.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I thought only time for one more question, really. But Sophie, I mean, your character spends lots of time looking back at her life, and I just wondered if you're quite a nostalgic person. If you look back over some of the sort of projects you've made. I mean, obviously I'm English, so I have a duty to my nation to ask anyone who's been in James Bond about James Bond. But experiences like that, do you remember those and look back often, or are you someone that's very focused on the future?
Not in the future very much, or in a very long future. I'm not nostalgic. I pay attention to where I'm from, what's my background, and what's my way, my journey, So of course you have to go back, but what has been done has been done. I take lessons from it, but what I'm interested in more, if I had to choose between 3 times, would be the present time, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, thank you both for your time today, and good luck with the release of the movie.
Thanks so
Merci.
much. Thank you.
Merci,
Bye.
Stefan. Merci.
Thanks for the music.
Let's dance.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,